You've probably heard people say that The Dark Knight is a great movie, but not necessarily a good Batman movie, especially since Matt Reeves's The Batman came out in 2022, and people love to compare the two. And they're right about The Dark Knight, because The Dark Knight isn't really about Batman. It's about the titular characters and the warring themes and ideologies that they represent, which fuel the entire conflict and heart of the film. So, if The Dark Knight isn't really a film about Batman, then who is it about? For my money, it's about the Joker, obviously, Harvey Dent, and Jim Gordon slash Batman. Or rather, the film is actually about the themes these characters represent and the tension between these opposed themes and ideologies. Let's start with Jim Gordon slash Batman. And yes, I am grouping these two characters together despite their differences because they're framed as representing very similar themes in this film. Both Batman and Jim Gordon want to change Gotham for the better, but neither of them is entirely committed to doing it the quote unquote right way. For Batman, this obviously manifests as vigilante justice, operating outside the bounds and authority of the law. And for Jim Gordon, this means relying on corrupt cops. Not because he wants to, but because he has to.
I don't get political points for being an idealist. I have to do the best I can with what I have.
They both want to inspire and create a safer, better Gotham, but they're content to work with what they have. Hell, Batman does inspire people, but not in the way he wants. The beginning of the movie features a copycat Batman that uses a gun and wears hockey pants. Inspiration, yes, just not the ideal inspiration that Batman was hoping for. Which brings me to Gotham's White Knight, the Golden Boy, District Attorney Harvey Dent! The film makes it a point to showcase that Harvey represents what Batman and Gordon want to strive for, but are ultimately unable to. He is the face of justice, the face of doing things the quote-unquote right way, through the established justice system, but he's only able to go after the mob in the way he does through the opening created by Batman and Jim Gordon in the last movie. This leads to a mutual respect and alignment between these three characters and their ideologies. And you already know who isn't included in this mutual respect. That's right, it's the Joker, baby! The Joker, obviously, represents chaos and the decay of trust in established institutions. Basically, all of his lines are spent saying as much.
Nobody panics. Because it's all part of the plan. But when I say that one little old mare will die, well, then everyone loses their minds.
His introduction itself is even chaotic, with no allegiance to anyone, not even his own goons during the opening heist, who he brutally kills. This philosophy is, of course, at odds with Dent's idealistic version of justice and order, as well as Batman's and Gordon's imperfect striving for a better, safer Gotham. Hell, Joker's ideology is even incompatible with the mob, who, for all their criminal activity, prefer to maintain an order to Gotham, even if that order places criminals above all else.
Criminals in this town used to believe in things. Honor. Respect. Look at you. What do you believe in, huh?
Now that the players and their warring philosophies have been established, the stage is set for the battle for the soul of Gotham City. Joker is, of course, the most active of these players throughout the film. He starts by stripping away the work that Batman and Jim Gordon accomplished in the last film. Remember the copycat Batman I mentioned earlier? The same one that represents the inspiration Batman garnered? Well, Joker both literally and figuratively kills that inspiration by killing the copycat and broadcasting his final moments. This effectively killed the inspiration and goodwill for Gotham that Batman and Jim Gordon had curried, both literally and figuratively.
We've been happy to let the Batman clean up our streets for us until now.
Things are worse than ever.
Once Joker thoroughly dismantles all the work that Gordon and Batman have done, he moves on to destroying the other remaining holdouts of order. He even burns half the mob's money to send a message, because he's not interested in organized crime, just chaos, which the mob, while criminal, is still opposed to. And finally, the last and most prominent vestige of a hope in Gotham that Joker must destroy is none other than Harvey Dent. Joker doesn't want to kill Harvey, he wants to corrupt him, wants to make him worse. Because if Gotham's White Knight can be turned, there truly is no hope for Gotham. And Joker manages to do it. He kills Harvey's fiancée and brutally mutilates Harvey's face, creating the character we comic book nerds know as Two-Face. And in a twist of irony, this tragedy was only able to occur because of Gordon's corrupt cops, which Dent had lectured Gordon on earlier in the movie. Harvey then has a somewhat reasonable crash out and goes on a targeted murdering spree, killing all the people, corrupt cops included, that he deems responsible for the murder of his fiancée and his mutilation. Less reasonably, this includes Jim Gordon and his family. Luckily, Batman steps in, manages to save them, and Harvey dies. But that's not what's important. The damage is done. The White Knight has been thoroughly corrupted into a mass murderer. If Gotham finds out, any inspiration or hope left will be utterly desecrated. So, Batman takes the fall for all the murdering that Harvey did. It's an imperfect solution, but it's the best they have. It's not the solution Gotham deserved, but it's the solution Gotham needed. Thus, Batman and Jim Gordon must continue imperfectly and sometimes messily striving for a better Gotham, despite the Joker, despite Harvey Dent, despite Batman. It's the tension between these characters and their ideologies and the war for Gotham's soul that this tension spawns that makes this movie feel bigger than just the characters, bigger than just Batman, which is why this film is an amazing movie, despite not being a traditional Batman story. This high-stakes, philosophical, three-way tug-of-war is the heart of this movie and is what makes it truly special. I would be incredibly surprised if we got another Batman or superhero movie in general like this in our lifetime. Hell, I'd be surprised if we got another film like this at all in our lifetime. It's just that good. Anyway, I'm a YouTuber. You probably know what I want. Do the like, comment, subscribe things if you feel like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.